Health imposters. You know, the grocery store is really a jungle nowadays. It can be really tricky. There's all this flashy labeling and all these health claims, and it's, you know, in a dizzying array of these foods, and there's lots of what we call health imposters out there. I mean, these are foods as a result of clever marketing and clever packaging are masquerading as foods that are really, really good for you, and the reality is they're not. And perhaps the greatest example of this are the yogurts. Now, first let me say this. Low-fat plain yogurt is one of, in my opinion, it's one of the healthiest foods you can eat. I would put it in the top 20 foods as top 20 most healthy foods. But when you add, you know, a bunch of sugar to it, like our typical fruit-flavored yogurt, it has now become basically a dessert. And there are many yogurts that have the equivalent amount of sugar in them as a dessert. So I always think about, you know, a young mom who's feeding her little toddler a little bit of, how about, here's a kid yogurt, and unfortunately kid yogurts are the worst when it comes to sugar. And the name of this is quite appropriate, Trix, right? Trix are, Trix. So if you're giving your little toddler this Trix yogurt, you need to know they're getting about the same amount of sugar as they could get in ice cream. Yeah, there's some calcium in, there's some protein, but this is nothing more than a dessert. So don't think about these fruit-flavored yogurts as being a healthy food. What you should do instead is buy low-fat plain yogurt, either add a little sugar to it yourself, put a little fruit with it, or you can do vanilla yogurt, plain yogurt, mix half and half. That's a much better thing than getting tricked, right? And yogurt is fascinating. There's something called the health halo effect. And I think yogurt has the health halo effect probably more than any other food. What does that mean? It means that consumers now believe anything yogurt with the word yogurt in it is healthy. We call that the health halo effect. And there's other examples that we can talk about as we go through. So again, we're talking about yogurt. This is frozen yogurt, right? Ooh, people think, oh, completely healthy frozen yogurt. I want you to know this has just as much sugar in it. In fact, I even found that it has even more sugar in it per serving than many of the ice creams on the shelf. So again, low-fat, frozen yogurt, lots of sugar. This is a true dessert, as much sugar as in ice cream. Here's another example. Again, exploiting the yogurt health halo. How about Yogo's rollers? Yogo's rollers. So, you know, parents look at them and say, oh, you know, it's got yogurt in it, it's got to be good. And they also say on here, made with real fruit and yogurt. And when you look at the ingredients list, well, let me tell you what's in this thing. A lot of sugar. And the sugar comes from, the first ingredient is pear puree concentrate. This is a real common trick. They're now taking fruit and juicing it and concentrating the juices, which concentrates the natural sugar in fruit to the point that it really is no different than if you're doing cane sugar or high fructose corn syrup or any other, or dextrose or any other sweeteners that are now out there. So that is the first ingredient. The second ingredient is maltodextrin. That's more sugar. The third ingredient is sugar. That's more sugar. The fourth ingredient is apple juice concentrate. That's more sugar. The next ingredient is non-fat yogurt. Now, I'll have to tell you, there's no benefit in the little bit of yogurt is in here because there's so much sugar. And one of the reasons that yogurt is so good for us is because it has live active cultures, and there's no live active bacterial cultures in this food. Here's another one of my favorites, Bran Muffins. People say, oh, it just sounds so healthy. A Bran Muffin has got to be great for me, right? They also have the health halo effect. Well, these are Bran Muffins, and I want you to know they're brown, not because they have a lot of bran in them, but because they have caramel color. This is a big trick. So the food people want to, you know, they know that you're hearing about whole grains and bran. Like bran sounds so healthy, and it is healthy. Real bran is really healthy. But they do things like to make it look brown because they know that things that are white are going to tell you that they don't have bran or whole grains in them. They add that color to it. So what is the ingredients in this? The very first ingredient in this is soybean oil. So that means these have more fat in it than any other ingredient. And soybean oil is not necessarily a healthy oil. The second ingredient is enriched wheat flour. That is white flour. I call that a great white hazard. It's basically handling your body just like sugar. The third ingredient is, let's see where it is shortening. And then we have some sugar. Somewhere in there, way down there, is a little bit of bran. But again, this is not a health food. Do not be duped. Oh, this is a great one. This is a great one. Snapple antioxidant water. Well, guess what? This is a sugar-fortified beverage. This is not water. Let's look at the ingredients to this. Now, if you bought this, you might be thinking you were getting not only some antioxidants, that's like people think, oh, they're really healthy, super healthy, but water. And again, this is not water. This is the first ingredient is water. All liquids, the first ingredient is going to be water. What is the second ingredient though? Sugar. Sugar. This is a sugar-fortified beverages. Yes, it has a little bit less sugar than soda, but not much. And it's just got a tiny little spattering of a few antioxidants thrown in there. And again, there's no evidence that taking nutrients out of their native context, which is food, and throwing them into things like water does anything good for your health. There may even be some risk. Let's see, what else? Oh, this is a big one. This is a big one. And you need to know about this. Pretzels are not a health food, right? Pretzels are not a health food. Look at the package, and you would think that, and a lot of people think they are. Look at the package. All natural. Wow. You think, ooh, that's good for me. 0 grams of trans fat. Another like little boost, right? And then, oh, fat-free. Well, you have to know the facts. Guess what these are? Pretzels are nothing more than 100% white flour and a lot of sodium. Neither of those ingredients are anything but unhealthy. So I would rather you have actually some chips, because one of the problems with pretzels is the fact they don't have any fat. They have a very, very high glycemic index. So when you eat these pretzels that are pretty much 100% refined white flour, your sugar goes sailing upward like it does if you eat sugar straight out of the bowl, and that's horrible for your metabolism. It can predispose to weight gain and some other bad things. So please, if you think that pretzels are a health food, know that, let me just set you straight. They're not. Okay. Oh, this is another big thing we're seeing now. Look at this package. What do you see at the top? Whole grain. Whole grains have developed the health halo effect. So they're wonderful for you. Whole grains are awesome. You've heard me talk about it before. I could go on and on. They decrease heart disease. They help you be skinnier. They can lower your cholesterol. They protect you from cancers. And just because you see made with whole grain does not tell you anything other than there might just be a tiny smidgen in there, like a little bit. In fact, I can look at this and know that there's not very much, because guess what? The dead ringer is a serving of this cereal only has 1 gram of dietary fiber. That is a dead ringer giveaway for grain foods that really are largely nothing more than refined white flour, which is a great white hazard, which will make you fat and do lots of other bad things. So please, adults, certainly I know you know better than to eat this yourself, but don't give it to your kids. There's lots of other healthier choices out there. Then one more. Let's do one more. Oh, Pop-Tarts, which I consider ultimately the quintessential junk food. Pop-Tarts. Do you know that Pop-Tarts has their 50 separate ingredients? So this is not a food. This is a food-like substance. I call things like this food artifacts. So you can see for yourself. There's 50 ingredients listed there. And a lot of these things you can't even pronounce. I don't know you know what they are, and I'm an expert in food. And this is a new little thing I saw recently. So now they're adding low fat, right? Ooh, low fat. That's another sort of let's suck you in and get you to buy it. Low fat. Yeah, these are low in fat, but guess what? They are nothing more than sugar and refined white flour. Refined white flour is handling the body just like sugar, so this is just basically like sitting down and eating sugar out of the bowl, and along with some things like caramel color and a few chemicals and things like that, again, that I can't even pronounce the names of them. So don't be fooled by these health imposters.